Behind that studio glass, there's an entire musical process that's at work. Most people never really think about what goes into recording a song. They hear the final track, but they never see the hours of setup, the takes, the adjustments, or the man behind the desk who makes it all come together. We talked to an up-and-coming local recording artist who is recording his first ever album here at CCB Kentucky.
My name is Ethan Torsak, and we're recording a 10-song album EP, and it's been a pretty good process so far. We've had a lot of fun. It's took a little while, but we are about to finish up.
Being a new recording artist is a fun and exciting opportunity. We asked Ethan before he recorded here, what did he think the studio process was like?
I've been doing demos at the house, for a long time. So as far as every song in this album, I pretty much demoed it at my house and added stuff. So the recording process has kind of been something I'm pretty experienced with. But when I was younger, probably like 19 years old, we went to Nashville and did a 3-song EP, and that was pretty much the same as kind of what I expected when I came here, and it was pretty much the same stuff, just dealing with pro musicians that would come in and you could play your song to them and they could pretty much write it out for you on a piece of paper. They'd show each other and then you just kind of go in and play the song. Maybe we did a lot of these songs in 5 or 6 takes, something like that. Some of them took a little longer, they're more intricate, but it was pretty much that's what I expected,
Most music fans and listeners will never understand the hard work and dedication it takes for an artist to create their own album. We asked Ethan, now that he's been in the studio a while, what has he learned that happens behind the scenes that most people don't see?
Oh man, nobody sees anything. Like you hear somebody is dropping a song and within a week you have the song. But like we've been in here for 8 months probably, just grinding out. I've been in that vocal booth right there. We stayed in there for a few weeks, just doing master vocals on master vocals and harmonies, and people just don't see the man hours that it takes to get something like this done. They just hear the finished product and that's all they hear, and that's great because they get a super raw reaction to it, I guess, But something like this, I've been listening to these songs for a long time. It feels like anyways, like 8 months since April, I guess we started. And yeah, just people just don't see the man hours and the time that it takes to pull something like this off. And it's just been a good process. But people don't see the process, they just see the results. And I think that's how it should be. Get a raw reaction of it.
Recording your first album is an achievement many hungry musicians never acquire, and it's a huge step in the process of one's musical journey. After recording his first album here at CCB Kentucky, we asked Ethan what part of the process has stood out to him the most throughout making his album.
For this album, we kind of approached this in a different way. So we came in the first 2 days, and we pretty much arranged the songs as a band. And I had done this before, but it kind of stayed like that. So standing out, I would say we did the original recording as a 4-piece band. Guitar, me singing and playing an acoustic, and then we had bass and drums, and that was pretty much all we had the first 2 days. And that just kind of set the baseline of what the songs were going to sound like, and the tempos, the arrangements, everything. And then what we had to do, because we couldn't get everybody here on the same day, it was like everybody was on tour, schedules were crazy, we couldn't get nobody here. And so what we did was just like, all right, everybody seemed to have their own studio at home, so we just sent them the tracks and then they would send us back their parts. It's called remote recording, and that stood out to me because when we sent them, nobody heard each other's parts, which is crazy because we just sent everybody, the bare tracks. If we would have, waited, it would have took longer, right? So if we would have waited until the fiddle player did her stuff, and then sent it to the steel player. It wouldn't have, it took, months. So we kind of just let them do their thing, and it's amazing to see it all just kind of glue together. Everybody had the same mind going into the song, and everybody had the same idea. And that just blew me away when I started hearing those parts come in, and they just kind of glue together. I was like, we called the right people, and it worked out. So I'd say, the remote recording would be it.
Behind that studio glass is where everything comes together. From the first take to the final mix, there's a lot happening that never makes it into the spotlight.